Hey traders, welcome back. The US Federal Reserve is due to make its decision on its interest rates this week, and markets are expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. In fact, a 50 basis point rate cut is also increasingly likely. Today, I'm going to guide you through on how to approach these FOMC meetings like a pro. Now, I don't think I have to tell you about how critical these events are. They're huge price movers right across the financial markets. But for our case, we'll focus on the forex market and gold. If you're trading any of this, the way you handle these meetings could make or break your results. Now, here's the thing, trading around the FOMC meeting isn't rocket science, but it does take a strategy. So stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll be better equipped to make smarter trades during these events. Alright, first things first, why does the FOMC meetings matter? Well, 8 times a year, the Fed Reserve makes key decisions on its interest rates and its policies. Like I was saying earlier, this decision moves the market. No question about it. And every FOMC meeting comes with a press conference. And 4 times a year, we get those economic projections as well. These projections gives us a glimpse into the Fed Reserve's mindset on where things are headed in the US economy. Let me break it down. Before the news release, markets are generally consolidative, as few traders or investors would want to stick their necks out before the storm. Sometimes there might be quick surges higher or lower, but you would view this as a speculative or anticipation move. At 2 p.m. Eastern, the Fed Reserve releases their statement and their decision on the interest rates. This might include a rate change or no change and its economic forecast. And this is where the initial market reaction kicks in. Then, at 2:30 p.m., Fed Chair Powell takes the stage for the press conference. And that's when things get really interesting and market volatility increases significantly. The first 15 minutes are critical. That's where Fed Chair Powell would read a statement and the market is hanging on to every word. This is then followed with a press conference where members of the media ask questions. Questions that even you might be thinking of about the US economy. Ultimately, we want to know how the Fed Reserve views the market, not just now, but into the future, and also to try and get a hint and figure out what they might do next. If you want to trade smart, you have to pay attention here. Here are some examples of the volatility and opportunities we saw from the previous meetings. In the July meeting, the Fed Reserve held rates steady again. The dollar index rallied briefly before selling off as Fed Chair Powell suggested that rate cuts could be on the table for the next meeting. During the June FOMC meeting, the Fed Reserve kept its interest rate unchanged and signaled that just one rate cut was expected. But it also indicated slight hawkishness as inflation remained on track to head towards the Fed Reserve's 2% goal. The euro dollar, in this case, dropped as the dollar index strengthened with bullish optimism. Now, here's the good part. How do you trade these meetings? I'm going to give you 4 strategies, and trust me, each one of it has its place. The first one is to trade early. Get in early, backed by a strong thesis. If you've done your homework and you have a solid idea of what's coming up, you can place your trades before the announcement and exit right after. But remember, this is a high risk approach. Your risk management is going to be super important. You have to be nimble and ready to pivot fast. Or number two, to wait for the reaction. My personal favorite. This is one for the traders who like to play it safer. Wait for the announcement, see how the market reacts, then jump in. It's all about reacting to the data and the press conference, what is said, and what they're asking, not trying to predict it. Or number three, sit it out completely. Sometimes The best strategy is not entering a trade. Don't feel pressured to trade every FOMC meeting. If you don't feel confident, if it doesn't make sense to you, it's totally okay to sit on the sidelines, preserve your capital, wait, and then decide what to do. There's no shame in that. Like I mentioned about waiting, the fourth approach will be to wait for the dust to settle. Wait for the initial craziness to die down. Then look for the opportunities. This way, you're not only not fighting the volatility, but you're also still able to capitalize on the market moves. Here is my view for the upcoming meeting this week. The dollar index is trading just above the key support level of 100.55. A 25 basis point rate cut from the Fed Reserve is pretty much expected widely across the market and is likely to have been priced in. What I mean by priced in is that traders and investors might have been selling way in advance based on this anticipated decision. So, if the Fed Reserve does only cut rates by 25 basis points and does not provide any clear plans or basis for further rate cuts, then we could actually see the dollar index rebound from this key support level. Alternatively, if the Fed Reserve releases a decision to cut rates by 50 basis points, this could somewhat surprise the markets a little bit, leading to further weakness on the dollar index, causing it to break down from the 100.55 support level towards the next levels at 199.7. The wildcards from this event would be the forward guidance the Federal Reserve provides in terms of further rate cuts and also how Chair Powell addresses the potential questions about whether the US economy is able to avoid a recession. Trading the FOMC meetings can be exciting and profitable, but only if you're smart about it. The risks are real and quite significant. So do your research, manage your risk, and don't hesitate to step back if the market is too crazy for your style. There are few guarantees in the financial markets, except that the guarantee that there will always be another opportunity on the horizon. Now, if you found this helpful, hit that like button, share with your fellow traders, and also subscribe for more actionable insights. Also, drop a comment in the section below and let me know, how are you planning to trade this current FOMC meeting? I want to hear your strategy. Trade well and trade safe.